Well, good morning, and thank you to our 183 attendees so far. We really value your time for joining us on this beautiful Wednesday morning. I'm Leanne Markham, and welcome to everybody.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lauren Munro, and today we'll be focusing on PG Bison's kitchen tool in partnership with Compusoft.
So I'd just like to take everybody through our webinar rules and etiquette. If you've been on one of these webinars before, whether it's a PG Bison webinar or any other, I'm sure you would have heard the same rules. We will be recording the session so that it can also be made available on our digital channels thereafter. So if there's anything you'd like to go back on and recap, the recording will be available. And we will have the chat functionality available if you have any questions or comments, as we've already started receiving. And we will actually have an in-depth question and answer session right at the end. So Andre will be responding to any questions in the chat while we go through the webinar. But I do urge you to please pay attention, especially to the demonstration of the kitchen design tool. And any questions you have, we will try and answer as many as possible at the end. And yeah, I guess the other rule is just to enjoy the webinar.
We're joined by the Compusoft team this morning, but before I hand over to Sean, I'd just like to mention that for this webinar and in the given time that we have, we're going to do our very best to cover as much as possible. So we'll take you through from where to find the PG Bison kitchen design tool on our website, through to selecting your room shape and size, to inserting plug points, radiators, windows, your wall and floor finishes, models, components, island units, how to do two-tone kitchens, decor, for example, inserting chairs and tables, flowers, and so much more. And as Leanne has mentioned, please feel free during this session to use the Q&A function or the chat function, and the team will respond accordingly. I see our numbers are on 191, so let's hope we reach that 200 mark. And because we've got a great turnout, it may be that we may not be able to answer everyone's questions in the given time. But what we will do post this webinar session is we'll share feedback on our social media platforms. At this stage, I'd like to hand over to Sean, who's going to tell us more about Compusoft and introduce his team.
Fantastic. Thank you, Lauren. Yeah, and thank you for everybody. I would like to start my side of the slide with just thanking, of course, PG Bison for this opportunity and time allowed, and also for each attendee that's joining this webinar or buying yourself or the time out this morning. We really appreciate that. So starting off, I would like to introduce the Compusoft team, hosting together with myself. Of course, is Ben Jordan. He's our support and quality manager. And then Andre, he's our catalog manager. And then myself, I'm Sean De Lange, and I'm the sales consultant, and we're working for Compusoft South Africa. Now, some people ask, who is Compusoft? Now, Compusoft, I just want to start off here. Sorry, I just want to share my screen. There we go. I take it now, Lauren, you can see the green screen saying Compusoft Group?
Yes.
Yes, I can see it clearly.
Fantastic, thanks for that. So just on who is Compusoft. Compusoft Group was founded in Norway and has been in operation since 1989. Since then, the Compusoft Group grew to become a key competitor in the KBB market for Europe, Africa, and the Southeast Pacific area. We supply business-driven solutions and services to the KBB and interior design market. We supply all of these services through our very own subsidiary or daughter company. We are not an agency. Compusoft South Africa operates in the bigger part of the sub-Saharan market, including Mauritius. Thanks, Leanne.
Sean, thank you for that introduction. Can you please expand on the design software industry today, as well as current market trends?
For sure. Yes, the design industry today, in the last 2 to 5 years, we've noted that the trend for 3D designs and design solutions has become more and more in demand. And we believe this is due to the big part that social media is playing in everyone's life. Suppliers, they make use of the opportunity on social media to market their solutions, products directly to the end user, thus making the end users more informed about the services and products available in the market. With this being said, customers in various price brackets in our market these days expect top quality and realistic 3D designs when remodeling their work and or living spaces. So to summarize the design industry today, what in the past was a nice to have has now become a necessity for all our customers and kitchen dealers in the market. Moving over to the trends. Regarding the market trends, with companies, designers, and customers trying to figure out this new normal that everybody is talking of, we came to realize in different markets all around the world that life and business has become much more fast-paced and budget conscious. So in essence, more results is expected in less time. So companies we've noted are preparing and gearing themselves for any sort of unplanned and crisis that might hit us again at any stage. So these companies are asking themselves, what can we change in our immediate area to better prepare not only ourselves or the company, but the loved ones and the employees working for us. So these areas that these companies are investing their time and money in is improving their lead times. With this, they are achieving faster turnaround time on designs, quotations, and consultations with customers. The time they spend traveling to and from prospects and customers, we've noted that businesses and consultants are spending their value time much more focused. And regarding consultations and presentations, minimizing, it's not ruling out, but minimizing the interaction between different parties. This to keep not only the employees, but their customers safe. And all of this above mentioned points, Compusoft is working together with our customers to see how we can better equip their current business situations and processes they currently have. Thanks, Lauren.
Thank you, Sean. I'm aware that there's been some advancements in Compusoft. Could you share some of those, please?
Yes, for sure. So what's new at Compusoft or with our solutions? So recently, even during the lockdown period, we've released great new solutions, integrations, and services with some very exciting new releases and updates to come in the very near future. So some of these points that Compusoft South Africa has released, number one is a new version on Winner Design, and we call it Winner Design 12. Now, what is new in this Winner Design 12 is a brand new interface layout, and this serves for easier navigation for consultants within the program. And with the new perspective, it's now a semi-rendered perspective or a 3D view, which makes consulting with your customer much easier and more realistic. And then we've got upgraded render capabilities. So with that said, we've got a faster rendering speed. We added a field of depth function and also a sharpness function that can be applied to your renderings. And secondly, we released with the SA Dynamic, we released a brand new version with a fantastic feature that helps customers to add more accurate prices into Winner Design catalogs faster than before. On the training side, we've released brand new training courses, and all of these courses are now offered online as well. And then we are very glad to say that the Compusoft cloud services. We're looking at launching early 2021. So more information and market material on this would be released shortly. Moving over to a brand new product, it's called Product Navigator. Now, how this works, this is to serve or to help push products within your showroom, products like appliances, zincs, and so forth. And how the consultants, users can utilize this is by comparing different brands or products within a brand with each other. This information that the customer then decide on can be exported and imported within Winner and utilized on their project. Moving over to the Showcase 360, we've done some tweaks and updates there as well. And under the Showcase 360 module is Showcase Collaborate and Showcase Inspire. And the idea behind this is to better connect and communicate with customers. The idea is to have your customer to engage and have their creativity flow right from the beginning. And last but not least is the integration between Design at Web and the Showcase Inspire solution. Now, as online solution tools became even more important following the crisis, this integration between these two solutions will help inspire your customer and give them a template to start off in Winner or Design at Web. So for now, these are the points that I would like to cover. I would like to say thank you to everyone. And if there's any questions regarding any of these points mentioned above, or any of the solutions that Compusoft Group or South Africa offers, please don't hesitate to give us a call. You can talk directly to me. My contact details are listed on the screen, and we will also add these contact details into the question and answer session for your reference. But thanks again for everybody's time. I hope everyone enjoys a wonderful, wonderful day. Thanks.
Thank you, Sean. So now let's cross over to Ben, who will demonstrate the new and improved kitchen design tool.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, so first of all, it is important to remember that this is an easy-to-use basic online planner, and the purpose being a lead generator. It is designed so the person at home can play around and design their own kitchen with the products and materials supplied by PG Bison. And also note that this tool gives you an element list, but it is not an optimizer. So you cannot generate a cutting list with this tool. Lauren already gave you a quick overview of what we will cover. So we'll start with how to access the design tool. I'm going to start by sharing my screen. Okay, so we start off with the PG Bison website, pgbison.co.za. And from there, you get the menus at the top, inspiration and kitchen design tool. So when you click on this link, it will open the design tool page. And this is the first page that you're going to see. And before we start with the design, I quickly want to show you some of the buttons and information on this page. So you'll have some buttons here marked from 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this is your progress, what you're going to follow from start to finish. Also have some buttons at the top here, and I'm actually going to make it a full screen so I can make use of the whole screen while designing. You have a login button here at the top. If you've visited this before and you're registered, you're going to click on the login button and enter your credentials, and you continue with your profile. I'm going to come back to the registration at the end of the design. At the bottom is some information about this page. So it just tells you what to do on each page. Right, to start off with the design, you've got some predefined layout room shapes, which you can use and then just alter the size of the different walls. Or alternatively, you can also draw your own shape room with the free room option here at the bottom. I'm going to use a rectangle shape, but using the free room option to show you what how to use this function as well. And also notice when I clicked on that, it moved over to the second option and it shows dimension, some subheadings for that number 2. So we start with the dimensions and drawing the room. You'll see a little circle here, which you simply click and drag in the direction. You hold the mouse button, and when you have your room, your wall size, you leave that button. Then click and drag the mouse button again in the next direction that you want to do, and leave the mouse button when you have that wall drawn. It's also very easy. Let's say you left the mouse button and this is not the wall that you wanted to create. Simply delete the last point and it will take that out. Completing the room, click and drag, and you finish where you started. And that will then show you the complete room that you've drawn. Before altering this, I do want to show that you can move this view around on the screen. You can move this by click and dragging it, or with the mouse button, zoom in and zoom out. Some of the objects you place might be a bit small, so you have the ability to zoom in and get to the area that you want. Then adapting this wall or room size, you can click on any of the walls and drag them larger or smaller. And you also have the ability to, you'll see each wall is marked with a letter. And when you adapt that letter here, I'm going to say 4800, it will adapt the wall measurement there. At the bottom here, you've got the wall height, which is your ceiling height, which you can alter as you like, and also the wall thickness. And you'll immediately see the changes being done on the screen here. What I also want to mention, sometimes it can happen that you zoom in too fast or zoom out too fast and you're not sure exactly where your plan on the screen is. If I zoom in very fast, you see that and you don't know where it is. You do have the first button here, which is center, which will bring the design back into the center of the screen. Then the next buttons you have here, it's showing currently on a line drawing. The next button will change the mode so you see it in a color drawing. So you see the material of the floor currently from this top view. Next button will switch between a 2D and a 3-dimensional view. So when I click on that, you can see this is the room that I've drawn. You can turn this view as you like. And then before we move over, I want to show you how to adapt the angles as well. You've got this button here, it's marked number 2, change dimensions. When you click on this, you get the little circles on all of the edges. And this you can click and drag and change the dimension, the angles of the different walls. When you're done with the room layout, move over to the next step here, which is elements. On the left-hand side, you'll see different type of elements. So we're going to start off adding a door into this design. So I click on doors and it gives me a few options, or quite a few options of doors. Each one has a picture with a description and also indicate the dimensions of the door. Adding a door, there's different ways of adding an element into your design. The first one would be simply to click on one of the options here. So when I click, it adds the door onto the wall. And it's very easy to move this door around on the wall or drag it to a different wall. And also because we work in millimeters, it can sometimes be tricky when you drag to get the exact measurement of where you want to place it. So when you click on the door, you have this little pencil icon, and you're able to either adapt the width, height, and depth of the door itself, your placement where the door is located on the wall. When I'm standing inside the room looking at the door, that will be my left-hand side. So the measurement from this corner will be on the left. Adapting that will change the door position to what I enter here. Also have the ability to change the door step or the door stop, and also hinge direction if I want it to be. On the right-hand side, it will change the direction how the door opens. Looking at our next element is adding some windows. So I go to this menu, I went back with the arrow and clicking on windows. Again, we have images of what the windows look like with their sizes. The second way of placing an object from here is to click and drag this and place it on the position or the wall where we want to add it. And again, very easy to open the pencil or the edit placement, adapting the position where it should be, and now I know it's 900 from the right-hand side. Let's add another window on the other side. Selecting it, selecting the pencil from the left corner. I want to place it on 900. And there we have some windows. Just to show you what we've done so far, I'm going to the three-dimensional view, and we can rotate this and you see the doors and windows added in the design. Now there are some more room elements that you can place, such as radiators or walls. These walls are interior walls or false walls. Should you need to draw a room where there are interior walls, you can place them separately. You have backsplash, which are wall decors. Should the walls, half of the walls be tiles or a different material, you can add them. And then also some connections, such as electrical or water connections or gas, should you want to indicate them on your design as well. I'm not going to place those, however, they are there for you to use. Then going to the next menu here, I select Design. And this is where you're going to change the material of the room itself. So this is floor, wall material, windows or doors. So the first one already selected here is floor, and it shows what the material currently selected is. When I click on this, it gives me a catalog of different material, and these can consist of tiles or wood materials and so on. So quite a long list of materials that you can use. Important, you cannot import your own material in the design, so you have to use the ones that's added in here. So selecting one. When you click on it, it can sometimes first just show a solid color and not the image. It can sometimes take just a few seconds before the tile or the material show up on there. Then going back, selecting a different room element, which is the walls. When I select wall in that drop-down menu, you see all the walls are highlighted currently, which means if I select a material here, it will be applied on all of the walls. Loading some materials, again, a long list of different type of materials. I'm going to select one here at the top, the salt gray, and it changed the material on all the walls. Now, you can also change the material of only one wall. So I want to show you when you click on one of the walls, all of them are highlighted, and clicking on another wall again, only that wall will be highlighted then. And now changing the material will only be applied on that wall. I'm going to select a lighter color. I've got a plaster white here, and it only changed the color for that wall. Also have the option to change the color or material for the door and also the windows, the same way as we did the floor and the walls. Then when you're done with your design or your room layout and all the elements are there, you go over to the next step, number 3, which is furnish. And here you select the model from the PG Bison catalog. So there are 4 different models to choose from. You're first going to select a model. This can be changed afterwards as well. So I'm going to select switch in this case. And it moves over to our products automatically. We're going to place some units. I do find it easier to place units not using the 3-dimensional view. So I'm going to move over to the 2D view, the plan view, and I can even zoom in a little bit to make it easier to place units next to each other. So starting off with a tall unit here in the corner, you'll see on the left-hand side, you have different item groups or different type of units. Maybe just going through the list quickly, you've got appliances, counter units, fillers and panels, floor units, open units, then there's some sinks, tall units, top units, wall units, and then ornaments, which are decor objects. I'm going to get to them as well. So starting off, I want to place a tall unit, so I select that option. We have different height tall units, standard in this case. The tall unit that I want to place is 600 wide. Now, by default, it shows all the standard tall units, standard height tall units that's available to place. You'll also see a picture, code, description, and it shows the dimension there. To make it easier to find a specific width or depth unit, you can select this option next to all and choose a width. So I'm looking for a 600 millimeter wide unit, and now it filters the units in this list, showing only the units that's 600 wide. There's a grocery cupboard, and when dragging and placing a unit, it automatically snaps to the wall. So it jumps against the wall, and the back side of the unit will be placed onto the wall. So you don't have to place it on the wall and then first rotate it. It will automatically jump. If I go to a different wall, if I go to this side, it rotates it automatically, placing it in the corner there. Next unit that I place is an eye-level oven. Also going to drag it and simply place it next to that unit. Then looking at some floor units. Going back and selecting floor units. Now, floor units are also divided in floor corner units, floor units with doors, and floor units with drawers. Again, long list of units that's available. Placing a floor unit with 3 drawers. Maybe what I can mention as well, the little eye there at the corner of each one, when you select that, it opens a bit bigger, showing you what it looks like and the description of that unit. Placing the unit next to that one, I'm going to place 2 of these drawer units. And then a smaller floor unit with a door, going back into the floor units with doors. Normal 600 unit with 1 door. Let's add another 400 in there. And then I'm going to finish off with another tall unit in the corner. So to show you what we've currently done here, going to the 3D menu of three-dimensional view, our tall units, the floor units, and then the tall unit to end with. It's very easy to change the hinge direction as well. Like we did with the door here at the bottom, you can select a unit and select the pencil. You have the ability to adapt the width of every unit. Not all the units that's available will be the exact width that you need, so you can change the width in the edit button here, the placement, and here you've got the orientation, changing the hinge direction for this unit, and the handle will be placed on the other side. Next, we can add some wall units here at the top as well. So I'm going back into the wall units folder, standard height. Let's look at a wall unit 1000 wide. Now also notice that you have that green, it only allows you to place wall units against the wall. So even if I drag it to the center, they still stick to the wall. I can also not place it where there's a tall unit because they will then collide. So it only allows me to place it on spaces where the unit will fit. Adding another 500 wide unit there, and then some open units. Again, there's different type of open units. It's on the floor or different height types. Searching for an 800 wide. You'll see there's two very similar ones. One has a glass shelf and the other one a wooden shelf. Adding that one in the space. And going to the 3D view, there we have a view of the units that we very easily placed using this tool. Now, before we continue with the design, I want to show how to place an island as well. So that one. So an island, when you go to floor units, normally islands are set up with floor units. So your normal floor units with doors, any floor unit basically. Unlike the floor units, or unlike the wall units that snaps only against the wall, floor unit can be placed in the middle of the room as well. So to create an island, very easy, you simply place them in the middle. When you click on that unit, you can rotate this. To show you the rotate function there. So moving a bit away from the unit, it makes it easier to rotate to the exact degrees. In the three-dimensional view, when it's highlighted, you can also rotate it and see what it looks like. And basically, the rest of the island would then just be placing units next to each other or back to back, where you rotate them back to back. If you placed a unit and you're not happy with the placement or you want to remove it, simply highlight it and click on that red dustbin button, which will then ask you, are you sure you want to delete this? Clicking on yes, it removes that from your design. Going over to some appliances. I'm not going to place all the appliances, however, there are some built-in ovens, cooker tops, extractor hoods, going a bit down, dishwasher, microwave, and some refrigerators available to use. To show you how easy it is to place them, drag and drop a cooker top, place it onto a worktop, and I'm going to place a sink on the side. So going out of the appliances into the sinks folder. Again, some different options to use, and add, and just adapt the position. And there we placed a sink in this design. And now we have all the units that we want to place. We've got our appliances in, but to make this design more realistic and more complete, we use decor objects. And they can be found here in the ornaments folder. Under ornaments, you'll find a long list of different type of objects. Under furniture, for example, you have loose tables, you have loose chairs, there's table with chairs. So I'm going to use this option just to save some time placing a table and different chairs. Different size, different amount of chairs. Selecting one, drag and add them into the room. There we have a chair. If I go to the 2D, two-dimensional view, I can see exactly where the placement is. And while you drag, you can also see the dimensions, how far it is placed from the wall or from different areas. Next, we can look at some table linen, placing some cups or so next to the sink there. I think my placement was a little bit off there. If you try and fit something and it cannot fit in that space, it might give you a message to say you can't add it there. There we have some plates, also some lighting. All rooms have lights, so it does add to how realistic this design looks like. So this is a ceiling light. It's a bit difficult to see exactly where it's placed on the three-dimensional view. That's also why I like to go to switch between the 2D and the 3D view. First of all, to see where I'm placing it. I want to place it right on top there. And the 3D view will show me what it looks like. Then I can add some spotlights as well. And you choose the amount of objects, how you want to place them. Next, we can look just to give it an extra effect. We have some plants, and I'm going to place a plant here in this corner. Can maybe add a picture, or it's called a poster here, onto the wall. We have carpets, and there's miscellaneous objects such as a clock. Add a clock on that side. We've got a dustbin. Doesn't want to add my clock. Let's see why. Every time that I did this beforehand, it worked. I'm going to look at that one. Let's leave the clock for now. It should be placed. I wonder if this is not maybe placed a little bit too close to the corner. Yes. Looking at some electrical appliances. There's different, like a coffee machine or espresso machine. And still all the objects that you place can be rotated as well. So if I zoom a little bit into that espresso machine, I can rotate this to the placement that I want. That looks best from what I need. What I do want to mention is the handles are integrated in this tool and they cannot be changed. So the handles are added in the design as they are. Right, so when we're finished, now you can see the room looks quite complete. with the decor objects as well. Then we move over to the next step, which is design. And this is where we're going to choose what type of material our cupboards and worktops and so on will be. So you can see category all is selected already. All the units, zooming in a little bit, you can see the units got those yellow lines, they are highlighted. So when selecting a front color, it's going to be applied on all the units. Going to front color on the left. It shows us the material and colors which is supplied by PG Bison. These are their colors, their color names, and their complete catalog is available in this design. So I'm going to use a super black, Mellowwood Accent Super Black. I selected it, and it changes all the fronts for the units. Going over to the carcass color, selecting the iceberg white. Next one is the worktop color. And again, these worktops are supplied by PG Bison. It's their material and exact name as you would get from them. Selecting a nice dark worktop here. And then the final one here is our plinth or kick plate color. Also select a darker one here. You might say, okay, this is very dark, but I'm going to move over to show you the two-tone kitchen as well. So then the color will look much better. Right, so that's basically what it looks like currently. You'll see you have a drop-down menu to select different unit types as well. So on this, I can select floor units, and now only these floor units are highlighted. And selecting a color here will then only be applied on these floor units. So going to front color, and I select the iceberg white. Only applied to the units that's selected. And if you want to change the material for one individual unit, when you click on the units here, it highlights all of them. The same as the walls, when you click on a unit again, it highlights only that unit. And changing the material now will only be applied to that unit. So I can go ahead and select the light color for this unit, and it's only applied on that one. The same way, you can select different units as well, clicking on the different units that you want to change. It doesn't have to be just one. It doesn't have to be the same group. You click on the ones that you want to change, and they will change according to the material that you select. I also need to mention that you cannot change the fronts or different fronts on one unit. This unit here, it's got 3 drawers. They will be the same color. You cannot give them individual material or colors. Same with this tall unit, for example, top and bottom will always be the same color. They cannot be changed individually. Then when you're happy with your design, you go over to the next step, which is number 4, the view. And this gives you an overview of the design that you currently did. So just scrolling a bit down, you'll see you have all the models, a list of all the models and material that you've used in the design. You have a 3-dimensional image like we saw. Going a bit more down, you've got the plan view with measurements and surface size. A list of all the products and items that you've used. This includes all the appliances and the units, and does not include the decor objects. And the next one is the room elements, all the wall and floor material that you've used with the surface size as well. And this brings us to the next step, is register now and finalize your plan, this button at the top. Now, in order to save this design, you have to be registered or logged in to this tool. It's very easy to register and it is free to register. Why would you want to save this? Two reasons. You might want to log in and come back to this tool, and you can access your saved design to either print it out or make changes to that, or you can start a new design and save that design under your profile. Also, when you're registered, when you click on this button, you register and you'll receive an email with the information that we've seen here at the bottom. All the information here, you'll have an attachment and you'll receive everything in that email. Just to show you what the registration looks like, you add your email, you define your own password, little bit of information. You have the option here, request for contact trading as a company. So if you are a company using this tool, then you're going to tick this option. If you're an individual at home playing around or designing, then you're not going to tick that option. And register, and that is it. Then your design is saved. When you log in, the next time you open the planner, you'll have all the different designs that you've done here in a list, which you can then either access or start a new design. And that concludes the kitchen design tool demonstration. I haven't followed the questions and answers at this stage, but I think we can look at some that's not answered or see if there's something we can display on the screen.
Thank you, Ben. That was fantastic. And I think I speak for, we're now on 229 attendees. I certainly have learned some new skills just from your demonstration, as I'm sure the other attendees have as well. I see that Andre and Sean have been fast and furiously typing to all the Q&As, and we'll take the next 5 minutes or so for everyone just to send more questions through. This is your opportunity. You've got the experts here to show you. So if there's anything you're battling with, or you have specific queries that you'd like Ben or Andre or Sean to assist with, please feel free to do so. Having a look here on the Q&A. Andre, are you getting through all the questions on your end?
Hi, Lauren. Yes, I am still responding. There's a couple that are still open, but I'm trying to attend to them. Thank you.
Fantastic. No problem. I see we're getting great feedback on the chat. Great tool. We'll definitely look into it. There have been a lot of queries from people wondering if we're going to release the video post the session, and yes, we will be. We'll release the link on social media, so everyone will be able to watch this at their own leisure.
Okay, maybe I can have a look at some of the open questions and answer them live as well. First question there was, how does one retrieve the login details once you've registered, but you're not sure exactly what it is? You are welcome to contact us at Compusoft as well. We are going to ask your email address that you've used to register, and we can also then retrieve that information or send you a link to reset your password. There's also an option in the login. If you remember the email, you have the forgot password option at the bottom.
Thank you, Ben.
Hi, Lauren. There was another question about the handles of aluminium strips. I'd just like to indicate that the handles are built in and integrated into the
previews that PG Bison provided, so the handles are not selectable or changeable. Yeah.
Thank you. It's good to know. I'm also just trying to read through all the questions and see if we've managed to answer them.
I see there's also more than one asking about if the tool is free or if there's a cost. So the tool is a free tool if you access it through the PG Bison website, so there is no cost to actually use the tool.
Question in the chat, does the tool also help with cutting lists when done designing? This tool is just a basic design tool. You get the element list, but it's not an optimizer, so it's not going to give you a cutting list.
Yeah.
So the one that's come through now, do you register on the website before designing, or can you start by designing and then register? So as Ben demonstrated, you access the tool on PG Bison's website and you would register at the end of your design just once, and then you would log back in the next time you do a new design.
Yes, to show the button here, I'm on the final page, the overview. So when you're finished with the design, register now and finalize your plan.
I don't think there's a limit, Tamara. I think you can design as many kitchens as you would like to. Ben, can you confirm that? There's no limit.
I'm also not sure about the limit, how many designs you can store on there. As far as I know, I don't think there's a limit.
Sarita would like to know if the designs that she's created can be converted into other architectural programs.
We at Compusoft have got the Winner Design program. That's our main kitchen or kitchen, bedroom, bathroom design tool. And this design can be imported into that tool to further generate it. And a lot of kitchen companies use that program. So as I mentioned at the beginning, this is a lead generated tool for the person at home to do a design and play a bit around. And then this design gets taken further on a different program. It can only be imported or used on our software, on Winner Design. So to answer your question there, you won't be able to export this and use it in different architectural programs. There's also a question regarding rendering. Want to do a 3D rendering, whether it's possible. This is also not in the online design tool. This also happens on our other program, Winner Design.
Okay, I see Mark Risto had a question, can I print the design? Yes, Mark, you can. At the end of your designing your kitchen, you'll receive a PDF with your, I think it's a schematic drawing, and so you'll be able to print that and take it to someone to show the design.
And I see there was also another question about if an opening can be created in the wall. I think that was from Tokozane. Is there an option to add an opening in the wall?
An opening, I would start by, well, I think we need to look at what opening. Is it just a hole in the wall, or is it a different section room?
Yeah, not too sure. Maybe that's referring to more open plan. Okay. I think that maybe if we can also just reiterate how to access the tool. So like we've said, it's through the PG Bison website, but then you would have to click on inspiration. So the inspiration tab at the top, and then to the kitchen design tool. So maybe that was a little bit quick in the beginning.
I see Tokozani.
Inspiration, kitchen design tool.
Yeah. Thank you, Ben.
Okay, and it's as simple as that. It's literally 2 clicks once you're in the website. Sorry.
Lovely. I see Tokozani did respond, referring to an opening into another room.
Okay. So Ben, any thoughts there on creating an opening
into another room? I would then design your outer room, or use the outer walls, drawing the room larger, and then use the room or these wall elements to add a wall between the two rooms.
Oh, yes, that will work.
So drawing this larger, let's say the room continues on this side, you'll draw that larger and then just add a normal wall in between them to close that gap, and you can add doors in those walls as well.
Hi guys, there's a couple of questions just regarding the costs of the website tool on PG Bison's website. That is of course for free.
I think there's another question here from Joel B that says, is there an expiration date? I've just lost that now. An expiration date to your designs being held by PG Bison. So how long do we actually get to keep these designs?
For as long as this tool is available or made available by PG Bison, it will exist. So it's not going to expire. Designs will be there as long as you keep your login credentials. So they're saved on your profile. Okay,
great. Maybe we've just got time for 1 or 2 more questions. I see we're already 2 minutes after 11. Roger has asked, is there a possibility to add filler panels when your wall doesn't conform to cupboard sizes?
Yes, definitely. Let's quickly go to our products here. So one of the groups of objects that you have are fillers and panels. So different type of fillers that you can place. So if I was left with a small gap here in the corner and I wanted to add a filler, simply place a filler in that gap.
Sean, I was just thinking perhaps you want to share the contact details one more time. I see there's a couple of people just looking for more info about Winner and Compusoft.
Yes, thanks, Lauren. I will put it on now. I'll share my screen if it's okay. Ben, you don't want to show something else?
No, I'll stop.
Fantastic. I'll share it now. Just give me 1 second.
And so, Lauren, I think with that, while Sean gets the contact details up, we are 4 minutes after 11, and I think we've managed to get through quite a few questions. And if we see that there's some pertinent questions we haven't answered, we can do a few posts on social media. But otherwise, yeah, I think it was a good webinar, so I think we could wrap it up.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for your time this morning, and the Compusoft team, thank you so much.